Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Seaford Board of Education, May 19th, 2026 meeting. My name is Kim Hopkins, and I will be presiding. I will just like to say, just give us some patience tonight as we are using the new diligent community instead of our old board docs. So I may this is some guidance that I'm now doing for my colleagues. All right, so this meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. All right, the next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda as presented.
Fair second, I move to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I would like to now pass it over to Dr. Savage.
Good evening, everyone. As we take our moment of silence today, we would like to honor two fallen BJs. First, Mr. John Hollis. If wind beneath your wings was a person, it would be John Hollis, a 30-year employee of the district and community activist. As well, Jimmy Big Daddy Langley. He was the bus driver extraordinaire for many years and also was a custodian in the district for years as well. So during the moment of silence tonight, we would like to honor both of them. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
All right, the next item on our agenda is approval of minutes from our April 2026 board meeting.
Oh, there's that. I need to approve our minutes from the April 20th meeting as presented.
Let me look all around.
Can I get a second? All right, motion and second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Let me just look up here.
And that motion carries. Dr. Savage, you're
Yes.
supposed to keep me straight.
It's easier up there.
Dr. Wilson.
Ms. Karen,
I like it. I believe her already. All right, next item on our agenda is public participation, and we do not have any requests. The next item where we have reports and presentations. Now typically we do the superintendent's communication first, but I see that Mr. Zoll is, excited.
I will piggyback on Mr. Zoll's presentation because it's actually really exciting.
Yeah. I'm very good. So to start with, just going over some updates and looking at some data from our school-based health center that right now is at all 4 of our elementary schools. So just going to go through a little bit of data so you can see kind of what they've done for our students in our community. First slide you see is just is the enrollment at each of the schools. Fred does have the biggest number, but Fred also has had the health center 1 year longer than the other schools. And those numbers throughout the last 2 years have continued to trickle up farther and farther and farther. And the Moores is very happy with the number of students right now that are enrolled in it. And it's something we push with a lot of our parents as we have attendance meetings with them. We'll talk about needs of their students. So those numbers are going up and we're very happy with that. Next one, you kind of see what students are coming for, just so you can see some of the things that the health center does, and which departments they do. Again, total unique patients, you see 244, and then the number of appointments that they've had at the top of the screen. So this school year, they've had over 1,000 appointments from our students, which means they've seen our students 1,000 times in their offices, which is pretty cool because that keeps kids in school and also gives parents a great resource to have when their kids are sick or just need some support with mental health. See month by month the number of patients that they've had. Obviously, with some months when you have a little bit less school, they don't see as many. But you also notice March and October, big months. March, the number went way up to 106. I just got the April number, didn't have a chance to look in yet. but didn't have a chance to give them the board presentation. April was obviously a little lower because of spring break, you know, that week for the students. Why is there a spike in March? I mean, it's a full month, so kids are there every day. I think we had what, one day off, or maybe
And there
more.
was a bug going around.
And then you had, you know, food season and stuff like that kicked up too. But I think that's the only real reason is just because it was there. And then you see the number of encounters they had, same thing, that mirrors the, obviously, the number of students that are coming in. But those are the number of visits that go through, and it mirrors it. But again, just very, the Moores and us very happy with the number. And if you also notice, we do start, it is open in the summer, so you can see some students coming in the summer, to get service from them too. And then this is the part that I'm very excited about. So starting next year, the Moores was given a federal rural health grant, and we were one of 4 middle schools in Sussex County to be able to partner with the Moores to start a wellness center at our middle school, which means that we are going to be the first and right now only school in the state to have wellness centers in every grade from kindergarten through 4th grade. So we're very We are gonna use a classroom space in the old KDL handy wing, of the middle school, right beside that middle entrance, if you kind of know the middle school where that is. Because right beside it is a nice, office area too for their mental health piece. And we're gonna have a doorbell on that outside door, so parents will not have to come in the front door, they can order the side door, for students who are sick or just, use it as use. And then that bell will ring into the wellness center and they'll go meet those parents. One thing I do need tonight, I don't remember where it is on the agenda, but, we do have to make a decision by the board. So because we have 12-year-olds, obviously in middle school, by state law, reproductive health has to be voted on by all of you. There is a sheet in your packet tonight that kind of shows exactly what, they're asking for, what to look at. The one thing I'll say is parents, 2 things. One, parents have to sign up and say, yes, I want my child to have access to reproductive health. So if the parent does not agree to that, then we're not offer it to the kid. And then they also have a check sheet in there of the things they want their student to be offered. So if one of those students came down, and want to talk about reproductive health, they won't be able to do it if the parent had agreed to that, moving forward. But the Moore still needs a board action from you, just to approve them to be able to offer reproductive health at the middle school for our, students who are 12 years old, or higher. And then the last page of my presentation, was just the things that they do offer and the things that parents can agree to if they want to, offer them.
So say that again, we have to approve for them to offer it, but it is still up to the parents to accept that offer.
If they would not provide it to any student who did not have parent, permission.
So help me understand that, so if a kid has some issues at home and they wanna talk to somebody about it, but they can't because the parents got okay it, when the parents gonna tell them we're not gonna okay it because we don't wanna
I mean,
tell
yes.
you anything, so there's a catch-22 there, and
I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, but I also am kind of grateful, especially just in time, that parents do have to sign off on it. We do it, because at least it has.
I think they should be involved,
Yes.
you still, you know where I'm going.
But yes, it could have you might have a student whose parents say, no, I don't want you to have access to this, who wants to talk about it.
But if you're not their kid or something,
They would not be able to.
you're not able to talk to someone.
In that kind of circumstance, would the wellness center staff reach back out to the parent and say, you know, you've declined reproductive health services,
Yes.
but your child has asked questions about it? Okay, so there's a follow-up conversation.
Then it gave the quit when it's home for them to school. I mean, you know, I'm being devil
Yeah,
advocate,
yeah.
you know what I mean, because it's a ball effect. I just watch Law and Order, so I mean, I'm all for that too. Case like that, I'm all on.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you always have,
You always have that.
Yeah,
yes, you're always gonna have that no matter what.
But we're gonna err on the side of caution.
I understand. I mean, I'm excited about what's going on, but it is,
I'm very excited about it. Morris has been a tremendous, I would
Yeah.
also say that they've been a tremendous partner. And we've had tons of success stories. I'm sure I've probably told you this before, but 2 years ago, there was a student that just moved into Fred Douglass, who was having some severe issues, and we were giving Morris, and found out they had a brain tumor. And we were able to get them up to appointments up in Bloomington, Avenue. We'll have to have surgery and, a student doing an amazing thing quickly. And there's a lot of other, lots of sports that definitely,
So it's about half of the kids enrolled are using it, about half.
yeah. And listen, some kids use it, some kids use it a lot,
Right.
some kids might go once a year.
What's the plan I mean, I know they're happy with the numbers, do they have a plan to increase usage?
I mean, yes, and listen, one of the things I know about partnership and how wonderful they are, they go to almost every parent night, parent activity, and have a table set up. They talk to kindergarten registrations, they'll get all the open houses in the fall, with a table, so parents can come up and talk to them, try to get them. And then again, the nurses that each building push it, we push it, and we have meetings with parents, that this is a resource for you. And just, some parents who don't go to Moore's worry about it, but there's no conflict, though, when our wellness center will talk to whoever their doctor was. If they find something that's needed,
And sports physicals,
and they will do sports with you.
that's a big one right there. They got
Okay, it will be huge for the middle school in that sense, that we do it right in school. And again, it's just talk about attendance and saving time. Instead of having to come to school, pick your student up, take them to the physical, bring them back, they'll be able to go down to the wellness center, be right there, and then go right back to class, and with a 20-30 minute visit.
What does the grant pay for exactly?
The grant, well, it's the multi-year grant, the first year of the grant, they go on the federal one, I'm gonna mess up time up, I think they have to spend the money by the end of October, and the federal year's over, but this first year is really to get the room set up and running, get the walls built, and they turn one classroom space into an office. You have a reception area, an exam room, and then a specimen area that's gonna be built up. And the bathroom that's gonna be in there, Mr. Henry, who I'm here to that part, so, is working very closely with them, and our guys are gonna do some of the work as well.
And that pays for staff, correct?
Yes, thank you for staffing.
So, the question I have really for middle school, what are the reproductive health items that the high school has?
I would have to do research on that for you. I'm guessing it's the same thing as the state code.
Well,
So I'm guessing that, because in our high school, not that it's a conflict, Title Health has contracts with the.
Correct, and I remember when we had a whole board meeting, I think, we were at Central
We're at Central.
that day, because the wellness center can exist without offering reproductive health.
Correct.
And we have voted that night to allow them to offer birth control, medications. So I just want to know, before I vote to say what the middle school is gonna have, I would like to see it kind of mirror,
I believe it's state code is what they have to offer because it's in regulation for the actual health centers. So I think they are all the health centers in the state have to follow the same guidelines.
You can't pick and choose what you offer.
And every school has the same thing, just like the wellness center high school.
no, I feel like they could do a pregnancy test, but if the board wouldn't agree for to have birth control, then they would not have birth control.
I don't think it's, what I think I hear you saying is it's not separated like that anymore. All of that falls under reproductive health, so pregnancy test, birth
Yeah,
control.
everything
all
on that last page.
Is under one umbrella.
All those things right now, and I could correct myself on this and, get back to you, but I'm pretty sure all of those things are offered at high school right now. Because it was a vote in 2000, I think it was another one. But the board did vote, it was probably 5-6 years ago now, on the same thing for them to be able to offer these same services to them.
The question is, do you want to what's it all?
No, I wanna make sure that they're the same, because Thailand Walk has one and Ward is running the other. So, just like you see, they don't do IUD, most people will not put an IUD in someone that young. But it's still birth control, that is still on market for people to use. So I wanna make sure that it is the same, services across the board.
Is there a deadline by when we would need
No,
approval
we can
by
vote.
the board?
We can vote on it.
You could do this in June.
I can
so
check
we
with that
can-
well. I mean, I will say the other thing, only some drawbacks, not a drawback really, but, the other piece to it is, once the students finish 8th grade, they will not automatically go to the federal health wellness center, the parents would have to sign up for that. Our fifth graders will automatically roll into the middle school because it's all in wards. But once they get eighth grade, once June 30th comes around, they're no longer part of that wellness center, they would have to sign up for the high school and the grade
Correct.
two.
But I also know that, parents, if they are a part of it in elementary or middle, that they would do the same in the high school. So my thoughts are this, if this person, say they do DEFO with the Moors, say the high school, which they do, but say they didn't offer DEFO, the continuity of care, now this person would have to find a provider that would do that. So I'm simply trying to make sure that.
I can find out from the high school wellness center what they are.
Yeah, I just wanna know what they, making sure that they line up.
So you wanna postpone the vote until you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's either,
That's fine.
you know, postpone the vote, or I'm gonna have to stick with my thing.
Obviously, we're not there yet, we have to wait till we get.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to clarify now, so when we get there, we don't have to have this discussion again, we already know what the plan is when we go to the action item, I mean.
I think it's a good point to make sure that we know if there is and not that we would necessarily decline for the
Right,
Moors,
but you wanna know.
but to know
Information.
where there might be a disconnect and to be able to get ahead of that.
Well, and also, I mean, just to bring back to memory, you know, Seaver was one of the last districts to even offer reproductive, this type of service in its wellness center anyway. And I was definitely one that was like, why, if we could check for STDs and STIs and check for pregnancy, why would we prevent them? And so I said that even at that meeting. So it's not that I am anti it, because you can go to Shipley at 12 years old,
Yeah.
or go to Red, who will give you transportation to give you the same thing. I'm just trying to make sure the continuity of care, that the same offerings are at the high school that
Now,
are.
I will tell you, I don't know, and I don't know if continuity care is gonna be exactly the same either, because it is a totally different organization that's running that wellness center compared to this one.
But
I
it's
do know
still
they have to
governed by
follow
the
the
state,
state,
though.
what's that?
They're still governed by the state, the requirement.
Yeah, they still gotta follow wellness center regulations, but I can find out if they offer.
Yeah, because I would, it would be such, a disservice that someone can get such magnificent things in eighth grade, and then it falls off at ninth.
Yeah.
So I just wanna make sure it's, you know. Pretty. But yeah, I think it's great that the board is, that people, is the first again.
And to have it at all levels, we've always felt like the middle school is kind of that gap, especially with like the athletic physicals. That was quite a hard day, you know, for some of that staff, so.
Yeah, we've
making
tried
that-
the last few years with fifth graders, try to push them to get it, so they have for sixth grade, but then when the fifth graders don't get it.
You know,
one section.
well, that's the stuff that I remember, when we were talking about the wellness center, we had mentioned about, you know, why can't it go down to the middle? And, you know, and so I know everyone is really in favor of that, but, you know, they say that's for us, so there's,
There we go.
become a part of it.
And the Morse has put, I mean, they wanted to add it too, they, like I said, they've been a tremendous partner in all of this and trying to help our community. So I think Fred Douglas was renewed again for another 5 years, recently. That one center is just staying there. And the high school is renewed too,
Like, I know they're moving into the middle school, so they haven't said anything far as like high school type stuff.
That, right now, they're not allowed
Okay,
based on an agreement that was made a while ago.
all right.
But they- When they came, one of the things that they agreed to when they came here is that they wouldn't try to overtake them.
Okay, gotcha. Only because I know, you know, that with the diabetics, with all the neurology, seizure disorders and all that, those are the kids good in the wars. So just trying to, that continuity to be there. All right, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll be that information for you for next board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have some good communication.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Lowell. We were super excited about that. We actually had multiple providers that were reaching out to us to do the partnership to apply for the grant. And that's always reassuring and just very excited for our middle school students, for our families, that our students have access to care from, you know, K to 12. We have some of the highest attendance rates in the state. And I think that this is directly related to that access to care.
Yeah, I would, just to add to that, the year's not over yet, but, for the first time ever, 3 of our 4 elementary schools are over 95% attendance, which is like unheard of.
If you look at the Secretary's strategic plan, the attendance rates, we are already surpassed what the goal is for attendance rates within the next 2 years. So, good stuff. All right, my comments also include some congratulations for this table. President Hopkins has acquired her credentials as a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Did I get that right? Very proud. You just keep stacking up those credentials. You're gonna show us all up. Thank you, Dr. Savage, for your words regarding Mr. Hollis and Mr. Landon. Sometimes I feel like the new kid on the block, so I appreciate folks, who knew these people far longer than I did. Last night, we were at the Behavioral Health Professional of the Year banquet, and we celebrated Rhonda Bailey from Blades Elementary School. She's a winner for us, but the state level award went to a teacher from Woodbridge. Lots of things and more announcements. So we have, in the state, what's called recognition schools. And I think I spoke to this a couple months ago, but it's all official now. Everybody has received their banners and their letters. So, Fred and Central were both recognition schools under the category of schools of continued excellence.
All right.
Yep. So they took the grants last year and have maintained their momentum. So they're the schools of continued excellence. And then this year, West, as a recognition school, was recognized for serving special populations. So, yeah, West will get the grant then this year, and they will figure out what to do with their grant. So, take a look on social media. We'll have photo ops and banners and teachers, and we will make sure to celebrate that. It kind of came in piecemeal. So once it was all official, I can share that with you. Nicolette Doreen, a student at the high school, has 3 unified track records at the state level and conference level in the 100, 200, and 400 meter. And this Evans III is male senior athlete of the year. So, okay, that's all of my announcements and communications.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next we have board communication. We want to say thank you for making sure that our phones stay charged and making sure that we feel safe when we leave the board meetings in the winter time when it's dark outside, because we have security. She showed me now, and I don't know. Just hold it.
There we go.
But this does,
You're gonna talk, you're gonna do that.
this does a SOS type one.
Hit it again.
Now, all I'm saying, Jeff, Mr. Veteran from the military, and Mr. Rice, retired
I
military.
got you back.
That's what I'm about to say. This all I have. This like, I feel right.
You guys are sticking around the road.
Next year we'll get hand sirens or
Dr.
something.
Savage knows the different, the calls and stuff from the AKA. I know I'm safe, so. But thank you, and thank you for our gear as well. And just like, Dr. D said, we did, to celebrate, Rhonda Bailey last night. It is so much mental health, not just in our district. They saw the numbers that, Mr. Zoll had up. This is psychology, type visits, itself. The kids are really struggling, with things. Some of them can't really express what those things are, so they come out as behaviors. Sometimes people don't understand that the behavior is actually communication. So I can tell you that the mental health, therapists, that the school counselors, that the teachers, that all the things, the trusted adults, that the students have, it's not always you know, someone they see every day in a class setting. It could be, you know, Dr. Vincent, when he comes in for his men's group and stuff, might, you know, take that time for a student to pour his heart, out and then him pour it back into them. So it's not just at, you know, the kindergarten through fifth or whatnot, to just know that a child that struggles in fifth, as they said at NSBA, at the conference, if they don't know how to deal with the stressors in a fifth grade, then they don't know how to deal with them in eighth grade. And then a senior won't know how to deal with them when they become a senior, because they don't know how to deal with it in fifth grade or eighth grade. So just, you know, thinking about that and thinking about the services that many people haven't tapped into, that are needed. And also to Mr. Gold's point, you know, parents would have to agree to the wellness center to even access that service, and that's where the school, counselors come in, because where they can't see one of those, therapists, they can, see one of ours. So they are definitely busy. Don't think for a moment that just because they're in elementary school, they're not going through things. Because we look at some files that go back to, you know, 5 years old. You know, you don't know when the trauma happened. So thank them for, you know, everything that they do. You know, teachers, thank you for all that you do, nurses included, all the things, the principal, I know a lot of special days.
We have a lot of appreciation.
A lot of appreciation days since the last time we all came together, as a collective. We also did our board self-eval, which, you know, the East Parent is so wonderful to send those out to us. And then wonderful to remind us that we haven't turned them in yet. Then she said stuff like, oh, you know, this anonymous, I don't know that it is.
It's anonymous.
I don't feel like she sends it out to everybody when they find the thing. I think it's usually, you know.
I usually don't get it.
Dr. Vincent, don't, you know,
I'm always first.
and she knows that too.
I don't do it when I first see it.
So,
That's when you got it done or not.
too predictable. So, you know, and she's also very gracious and, disseminating information for us. So I just want to take a moment just to talk about that, real quick. So every, board member has a copy of it. What I did is I, went through and I highlighted the questions that kind of flag. I think as a whole, all of ours are over 3, which is good. But for community relationships, that is the area that we're gonna have to work on, over the next year. Just bear with me, because this is kind of like, I have to go backwards. So for relationships with superintendent, what I did, even though all of them are above our benchmark, I did go through and I was looking at the ones that flagged for like a number 2 or 1. Because if they all were number 2, we would not hit a benchmark. So those are concerning numbers, to me. So for this, we look at relationship with superintendent number 5, A5, flagged for someone for a number for 2. And that's request information from the superintendent or from staff members with the knowledge of the superintendent. So one person feels like we can improve in that area. So I did highlight that, and that is something that we can look at over the upcoming year. And we do this every spring. I want to skip community relationships for a second, because that is the one that is highlighted, is lit up a lot. With my green, if you can see it, so we'll go to the board meetings. We just had one for the board meeting, and that was C1. And so C1 is encourage attendance and participation of citizens at board meetings. So I can tell you that Dr. Savage is really good at, you know, sharing the link on Facebook to try to get people involved. I know I've sent the link even to our new friends that we met working with in San Antonio, like people from New Jersey and other states. So, I mean, that's something we can look at if necessary, but it's also one of the things where we all have social media, and we all are from this town, graduated from that high school. Well, I think. High school.
We're gonna make my black and white picture. That's, Well,
We all graduated from high school.
we did.
Even if you're tall, graduated from high school.
See, you looked at me with the glasses, wow, I'm sort of thinking, sorry, mom graduated from there, she goes,
Sing me out right there in San Antonio with a black and white picture. And I also had a colored picture, we had black and white. And then somebody already said, we know who the older guy is. 50 years later. Technology, you could put the color.
next you'll present, we just need you to tell us what color it was. Okay, what color it was, yeah. You're right. Well, at least you look nice and put together, because I know they were pretty good on the market, I was the best. So for the board meetings, encouraging attendance, I don't know y'all not right. Then for staff and, personnel relationships, we had one, number 2, and that was B6. And that is, make the staff aware of the esteem in which, it is held. So that's, D6, under staff and personnel relationships. So that one, procedure 2 as well. The next one, relationship to the instructional program, and Dr. Jeanette, so we flagged, which 2s, for generally understand the restrictions imposed on the instructional program by the General Assembly and by the State, Board of Education. Another one was keep abreast of current educational practices. So that was E2, and then E7, and then E8 is attends and participates in DSBA conferences and meetings and appropriate meetings of other educational, groups. And, so DSBA is the Delaware School Board Association, so, I mean, we're pretty good at making sure we go to things, with, the National School Board Association, and we do things with each other locally. But statewide, I do know they have the event tomorrow, and it is in Newark. So I will be attending that. They're paired with, First Aid Educate. So I'll be, in attendance for that tomorrow, but it is in Newark. And then when we go back to community relationships, hold on, I think. That's right. So when it comes to, we have a little friend called Wyatt here. For financial management of schools, everything was 3 or 4. And then, personal quality, sorry, as far as the board goes, everything was 3 or 4 there. So, even in areas where it's not, like, patches, like, you have, like, transformed how we can envision how, the finances can be presented, how it can look, and how they can be categorized. And even looking at the taxes, like, giving us a true, picture of where we're actually at versus how I think it's kind of overly inflated from before, but you're keeping it like, this is the real number, this is what it really looks like. And I feel like everyone does a great job. I just think with some of the 2s reflect that we just don't have a great understanding in all areas. So we'll work on making sure we understand more about that, in the coming, school year. As it relates to the community relationships, though, let's see, sorry, again, I have to go back. There might be 4. All right. So we, flagged for, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 10. So the first one is determine, community relationships. Determines how the parents and other citizens feel about the school district, seeking information relative to specific areas of concern, as well as specific alternative recommendations for improvement. So that's 1. 2 is, practically keeps the parents and other citizens informed of the school district activities, accomplishments, and, problems, so that they have a better understanding of the district, including the need for improvement and what must be done to facilitate essential change. 3, develops a mutual understanding between the board and parents and other citizens of the goals and objectives of the district and the resources needed to accomplish those goals and objectives. 5, involve parents and other citizens in the work of the board and the solving of relevant educational concerns and problems, assisting them to assume a more direct responsibility for the quality of education the school district provides. 6 is promote a genuine spirit of cooperation between the board and parents and other citizens, ensuring leadership for the improvement of schools. 7, recognizes the realities of the current society and endeavors to implement ways that reduce scheduling conflicts and facilitates attendance at and involvement in school activities. And then 10 is actively fosters cooperation with various news media for the dissemination of information about the school program. So those are all the ones that fall under community relationships. And interestingly enough, we do see a lot of these things happen, but they're done through the district. So this is something that we need to look at as a board, because if we're in our board meeting talking about, can we make sure we get this on the district page, can we make sure we get this here, then we don't have a different avenue that we would do that.
It's tough even with, Superstar.
Yeah, they used to come every
I'm bringing up,
Yeah.
articles and different things to share, and you don't get any hits, whatever. Now, Miss Lynn takes it,
Yeah, she does. Really.
she'll make sure that it's taken care of, but even with that, some of the things still, she'll tell me, yeah, he didn't go with it, or whatever the case may be. So our only strong communication that we have is our district communication with social media, with the all calls, with emails and newsletters. I think we do a good job of that.
But be careful, because what I hear you saying is what the district does. This is about us.
I understand.
Right.
I understand in the midst of that. But each one of us have, well, majority of us have social media, and I know that we beat the pavement. I've been around all of you guys when we're talking about community and doing different things. So if you're saying us, let me talk about me. I know what I do, and I don't want to be selfish in that. Because I know that you guys do it too.
I mean, the only idea I had in terms of like support is that we could, if you wanted to leave that copy with me of the highlighted items, we could even start brainstorming via email or on a Google Doc or something. How, as individual board members, could you do something to improve in that area, or what would you need from me, right? So if you feel like you are not as well informed in education and legislation, then I can make a specific effort to share that out via email or part of the presentation, right? But I think that back and forth of brainstorming, what do you need? What are some ideas? And just get everything out. And maybe the idea like doesn't go anywhere, but it's an idea, right? That's the whole point of brainstorming. Or maybe
retreat too.
we could do that at a retreat.
Activity for the
That would be a great activity, just brainstorming, we could put them up on the walls and just start writing down ideas. And it's interesting dynamic, right? Because this is your self-evaluation. And my job would just be to facilitate whatever you needed to become the board members that you want to be.
Yeah, because to Dr. Benson's point, I mean, if you can only have 2 people, if there's a
Right.
quorum. So like even with that, being careful. So we definitely like the Dr. Benson's, I mean, something to talk about at the retreat. But we do, like, when there's different events and stuff, we share the accolades of the district on our pages. We do those things. So yeah, so we can talk more about that. But I just want to, highlight what the areas where, because there's a lot of numbers and a lot of questions. So I just wanted to put that out there so we can just think about it, and definitely we can put a Google Doc and
Like,
so I'll leave
on that.
Yep, so I'll leave this with you. But again, I just want to say that we are above our benchmark, and even in the year 2025, 26, we're still performing better in areas than we did in 2021. So, good job, everyone.
And I think it's the ability to have conversations like this and be self-reflective that is like, is really powerful.
Well, yeah, and that's how, that's how we grow. And honestly, that's how we remain the rock stars that we are across the United States, because I think we're pretty amazing. So,
Speaking of that, I do have a Zoom appointment with, a writer on Friday about, they're doing a series that's called Business Review of, best managed districts, Delaware. So I think,
You did.
so I do have a follow-up with that person this week, so I will let you know if you were needed for an interview.
Yes.
all right, well, I got to listen to it. Finish the week. Well, you have to say, unless you're gonna feed them at, Abbott's or something.
I think this is just virtual.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. Me and Dr. D, we ate at, where we at? In Dover. First day
Oh, you
education.
did the first aid educate at, Newtown.
We just have to make sure that he gets fed and everything goes on as well. All right, does anyone else, more colleagues have anything you want to add with the, first?
Oh, yes, Vince Evans III was also named, outstanding male athlete for Sussex County by the Delaware Afro-American Sports Hall of Fame. I was there that night, for him and another scholar. But he did receive that as well, and the other accolade was the new one that you just talked about.
The male senior athlete of the year.
And the graduates who attended Central Elementary walked through the halls today in their caps and gowns.
Well, they were all, so it was a busload of
And they went-
graduates, they went to
All
all,
the schools,
all.
okay, because I only saw Central, so that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, no, they went to all the schools.
That's great. That's
And
great.
we're looking to expand the opportunity into next year, but this year we were a little crunched for time and resources, so we had one bus that
But that's
filled up and we got that, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and speaking of year, graduation is next week.
Next Friday.
Y'all, you're a one down. All the graduates. I tell you, graduation season's fun, y'all. It really is, that's just like,
No, I love graduation.
it's
I
a different
love
vibe.
graduation.
I tell you, it has been great, going to different, nurse fittings, different, college graduations, and just all the things, so it's been really, really good. All right, so the next thing that we have on our agenda is GCI Professional Staff Development Policy, presented by Mr. Cameron.
Thank you. The professional staff development policy is just reviewed. There are no changes to it. There may be some changes when we start talking, regulation, but there's no changes to the policy, just part of this whole process. So when somebody looks at it in the future, they see it was revised in 2000, we can show that we looked at it in 2026, and hopefully it's not 2052 until it's reviewed again.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you. All right, so we're gonna move along to our action items, and for the first one, do we wanna table it?
The only table it is if you're coming back in this meeting, so you wanna postpone to the next meeting, or defer to the next meeting.
Okay, so, could I get a motion to defer 7.01 to our June 2026?
June, Dear Savage, I move that we postpone the vote for 7.01 to our June meeting after receiving further information from Mr. Gold.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. The next item on our agenda is still trust. All right, and we have on 5/26/26, we have 12th grade students, going to Hershey Park. It is their senior class trip, and they will be going from 8:30 in the morning to 10 p.m. And I would need a motion to approve this.
Make a motion to approve the bus trip, field trip on 5/26.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And just have them get some, all the Hershey's chocolate while you're.
I can look on my own.
I can look on my own, oh gosh. The next item on our agenda is, school choice, and this too is an action item, and I will need a motion to approve.
Chef Ben's trying to make a motion to approve school choice applications 2026-81 2027-6, 2027-32, and 2027-43 as presented, and to deny school choice applications 2027-44 and 2027-45 as presented, and to rescind school choice applications 2025-29 and 2026-35 for 26-27 school year. Second.
All right, we have a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion will carry. The next item on our agenda is our facilities request. The first one is our, we have our Census Tech Family Literacy Program, that is with their adult division. The rental date is September 9th, 2026, until May 26th, 2027. It will be every Monday and Wednesday evening from 5:15 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. They will set up the event. Event setup time is scheduled for 5:15, and then they will clean up at 8:30. They're anticipating that there will be like 75 attendees. Facilities requested is Central Elementary, the cafeteria, the auditorium, the courtyard, the gym, media center, and the parking lot. And that is an action item, and we need it to be approved.
Make a motion. This is Jeff Baker. I make a motion to approve the facilities request as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second, for the Census Tech. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. The next one is James H. Grove Adult High School Adult-Based Education Classes. That also will be with Census Tech, but that will be, September the 8th, 2026 through May 27th, 2027. Now, these will be, every Tuesday and Thursday evening. The times will be the same, 5:15 to 8:30. Set up be for 5:15, clean up after 8:30. They will need the high school, and they will need 5 classrooms. They're anticipating that there should be like 100 participants, for this. So that too is an action item and will require a motion.
Jeff Baker, I make a motion to approve the Sussex Tech Family Literacy Facility request as presented.
So,
James H. Grove Adult High School facility request as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. I love how we continue, the extension of education into the evenings and, you know, yeah, I think we're a really good community partner. All right, the next item on our agenda too is an action item. It is for, GCH Professional Staff Orientation Policy. And this will be, a motion to approve the first reading.
There, I move to approve the first reading of GCH, professional staff orientation policy as presented.
All right, you have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion, carries. And just for like, new people that aren't typically in the meeting with us, we actually have 2, fellow board members that actually attend these. I think that, though we voted, it looks like, Mr. Cameron would like to say something.
On this, we're good.
Okay, we're good, okay. So we do actually have board, members on, the committee, so when there, these changes that are made, we know about them before we get here. I'm sorry, like, girl, what is that?
I missed it.
Okay, the next one, let's see, is also, nope, that's Mr. Zoll. JICJ, use of cell phones, electronic devices in school policy. And I think this is something that's what statewide that is coming down.
So I gotta give Mr. Cameron a little bit of credit on this, because he took the lead on some of this, just because, the state law that has changed or made us update our policy. So that's why you look, the old policy is totally taken out. And then the state gave us kind of guidelines for what a policy should look like. Mr. Cameron and I met with students from the middle school and high school to talk with them about cell phone usage and what they think about the policy. And then we've also sent it out to the staff, leadership teams at both schools, and we're getting feedback from them as well. So we can have kind of a comprehensive look at what people think. But the policy that you see in front of you, is kind of different, elementary, middle school, and high school, obviously, which it should be, because the students are different ages. Elementary school, we kind of came up with, devices should be put away and shouldn't be out during the day at all. If they're brought to school, they should be kept in book bags, obviously, or not out. Middle school relaxed it a little bit. This is what the policy system was like.
That's what I'm just gonna.
We're just, yeah.
So, so what we have in front of us is just the policy, and so this is, as Ms. Hopkins said, in regards to SB 106, we have to refine the policy. There had to be, as Mr. Zoll was saying, there had to be student participation, has to be educator participation. So the policy in front of you, you know, a lot of what we have, where a lot more of the operational pieces in our regulations with how we do things. So this is the policy at the June board meeting, we'll be reading the regulations, where Mr. Zoll just gave you a preview of some of the things that have been discussed with the students and the administration. And each of the principals, all 6 principals, in fact, their SLTs are looking at as well to get educator feedback. You know, obviously middle school and high school is a little bit more prevalent for this, but we wanted the elementary folks to have that ability as well. And we'll keep working from there. The state did send a model policy, and that's what we've kind of operated off of. And if you think back to the old Choose Your Own Adventure books, they say you have option A, option B, or option C, which when we started reading a couple of those options, the high schoolers like, no, we don't like that one. And so it was really good. I do want to give kudos to both the high school and middle school students that we met with. They were very articulate about their thoughts, and shockingly at the high school, they wanted us to be a little bit more restrictive than not, which we kind of walked out of there a little like, oh, that was not what we expected a little bit there. But it was really good. But this, you'll see a lot more at the regulations, and hopefully with the regulations, remember the policies, what you guys vote on, the regulations we bring to you. After that's all said and done in June, we'll be working with Ms. Brents and the principals in regards to getting word out there that this is now, because that's also part of this, you have to advertise this prior to school starting in 26-27 school year. So we will have a cell phone policy regulation campaign led by our PIO.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, because the adults are worse than the children.
Students were very thankful to Skate Black, they're absolutely no stuff. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you know, and that's the interesting thing is, I had the privilege of speaking to high schoolers today, and just having that conversation about, you guys spend so much time on your devices, and a lot of things that you learn through observation, you have missed. You know, like, no one would drag you over to, you know, the can opener and say, this is how this works. But if you watch someone use it enough, then you pick up on that. And so I just told them, I said, you know, you guys are gonna be our future, whether we like it or not. It's just the way that it happens as we get older. So why not pour into them? Why not be a part of the process of shaping them? So,
But to their credit, they do realize that their phones are distracting.
oh yeah,
And I also think, which when we get to the regs, I hope that it's in there, that teaching them appropriate use, situationally appropriate use, because there are adults who use their cell phones inappropriately. So this is our opportunity to take it as a learning opportunity, a teaching opportunity for appropriate use, not just no, but when and where and how to use it appropriately.
let's see, that is, an action item, as well as the motion.
Dear Savage, I move to approve the first reading of JICJ, use of cell phones and electronic devices in school policy as presented.
Second.
All right, no motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. The next item is a financial report that's presented by Ms. Nagle.
Right. All right, we are at 83% of the fiscal year so far, 83.3. You'll notice we are roughly 73.34 expended, and with encumbered, we're sitting at 77.39. Again, those numbers as well as our local salaries here, we're trending lower. We've also done quite a few of our recodes that I mentioned talking to you all about prior. And so we're sitting at a pretty good spot for the year in regards to expenditures. We did shut down, most of our locally funded cost center POs, a week or two ago. So you'll still see some encumbrances going into next month, but you also will not, see a lot of the things like our schools and athletics and some of our other buckets actually changing a whole lot. You will see things like our salaries continuing because we make those salaries flow through the system regardless of whether or not, the system's pretty much shut down. We'll schedule around those sorts of things. So with that said, this is your operating unit expense report for the month. If we move on over to our next one. This is our monthly tax report for April. You'll see that we brought in, roughly $86,000. Looking ahead, April, which actually comes in May, was 55,000. So if you take those two numbers, we're looking at about 175, which should pretty much be covered by the next 2 months and basically what we get out of senior and disabled veterans tax credit. So we should be sitting at 100% collected on the 10/6. Now, remember, that is only because of the amount of delinquent years that we get. If it wasn't for our delinquent years and our tax credits, we would be way under, but we will actually meet what we budgeted. That's for, any questions on that? No. One last time, you're gonna see this red on here for this month. We actually, this past week, received our $300 and some thousand that we left over in the COPS grant. So we worked with, Mr. Zoll's office, and we were able to actually get that money. It was deposited at the state, and your office was able to actually do everything. I think we have about $3,000 left that they were waiting on getting, as of this morning into our system, but we have received it from the federal government. So it's at least sitting in the safe down there. So we'll be able to do this recoding now that we have. So just, again, this is an important part for our cash flows, and I can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this and use this because this is a big thing for us. So we'll switch over to the next one. Remember, red on revenue is good, right?
Yeah.
So we've collected more in a lot of areas. We also are collecting more overall in a lot of these categories. We still have some outstanding, and we will continue to have some outstanding as we go about the next few months. But the good news is that we're in a good fiscal year, and with all funds and a whole bunch of things, like if you look at the amount of interest that we've gotten just this year alone, there's a lot of good things happening in Seaford. And can be thankful for both the state, local, and federal coming in as planned this year. And I think we talked to Cam about units and Chrissy about the work we did and concerns we had around federal funds at the beginning of this year. To end up at this, considering the uncertainty, I think we're in a really good spot. Because we were really worried that we would not be here now. I think
The village is a lot happier.
yes, they're a lot more happy. So, and we've got a new process for giving them their funds. We are going to do the 75% again, just to make sure, because that seemed to work out really well for that when you see it. So next month, I hope to be able to fully present to you both taxes as well as your budget for next year.
We have held back on that based off of all of this, but also because of our contract negotiations, which we have mentioned to you before. Cam, I would like for you to go back to, 3 pages, go back to the first page. I'm just giving you this as a highlight. For next month, what we're holding off on right now is because we're negotiating, of course, this month. So the reason you don't have so next month may have to be a tentative startup, and then I may, because remember, this is the final, so I've not changed these numbers, but up until a few months ago, this was preliminary. So what I'm probably gonna go ahead and do next month is just give you a preliminary based off of guesstimates. And I'm saying guesstimates because we won't really know until, contracts are ratified, and they may be after the July 1st date. You can't start your fiscal year off without an approved,
Right.
at least preliminary budget. So I'm gonna get you that, and, we are potentially anticipating some changes in, possibly tuition and a few other categories, but what we're trying to do is see where all our monies end up for the end of this year. And hopefully make adjustments without adjusting the rate, make adjustments within the current tax rate, but if not, there potentially could be a 1 to 2 cent change, but we won't know that yet. Again, I'm still kind of trying to tweak all the numbers and get through that. It's been a busy few weeks, here in Seaford and finance office and other places too. But just want y'all to be aware. Any questions on any of this? All right.
So this is an action item, and I'll use the motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve client report.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carried. All right, and next, item, the long range agenda. We have a lot of great things, I know it's the year, so there's a lot of things taking place. So I just wanna highlight, that the seniors' last day is the 22nd. There will be a school barbecue, during lunchtime at Fred on Monday, the 25th, school's closed. Okay, so when I'm coming through to get my coffee in the morning, I shouldn't see kids walking to school. Shouldn't see them on their bike or waiting for the bus at outside their house. Because we're closed. Y'all know y'all seen that.
We're not saying you're happy because you won't be delayed.
No, I'm just saying, you see kids walking to school, you're like, you get another 2 hours delay, or school's been canceled, along the way. Go back. Oh, okay, yep, got that. Senior awards will be the 27th at 5 p.m. At the high school. We already talked about, graduation, that is next week on Friday at 6 p.m. in our, gymnasium, then at the high school, and then a PTO meeting, June 4th, 5 p.m. at West. That's a great way for, parents, guardians, adults and children's lives to get involved. This grade farewell will be, June 4th. That's at Fred at 9 a.m. Also, June 4th at 6 p.m. at the high school is the Little J's graduation. 8th grade bridge ceremony at 6 p.m. It will be at the high school. That is on the 8th of June. And then the last day for students will be, June the 9th. But before the 9th gets here, please look at your, either district, social media page, look at your child's school, or even contact the teachers, because there's a lot of field days coming up. To make sure that you look at the weather, so that kids don't have on sweatsuits in the heat. Look at the different award ceremonies that will be taking place, the different, spring concerts and band concerts that will be taking place, up until the last day of school, and, making sure that you look up the celebrations that the different grade levels may be having. So please reach out to your school if you have any questions. And that is all I have for that. So now I would just need a motion to go into executive session from, public session.
That means I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Awesome. And that, will be, let's see, all those in favor say aye. All those that oppose? And that is 7:04, 7:04 p.m.